Thigpen, and I am a chiropractor here in the Woodlands. I've been in practice for almost 13 years, and I've also been practicing natural medicine for about half of that. One of the things that I like to tell people is why I got into natural medicine. Because usually, whether you're a medical doctor or a chiropractor or an osteopath or whatever kind of doctor, you have to have some sort of a drive, some sort of an interest. Something usually pushes you in the direction of natural health and wellness. And for me, my personal story was my own mother. I was practicing just standard chiropractic care for about 7 or 8 years, and you know, chiropractors, we deal with neck pain, back pain, headaches, sciatica, bulging discs, and we do a really good job at it. And that was pretty much my niche. And the whole time, I didn't know some of the things that my own mother was dealing with, just with her own health and wellness. And you know, her being my mom, she doesn't want to share that type of information with me. But finally, she had got to a point where she thought, you know, there's got to be another way. There's got to be a different avenue I can take that might better benefit me. And so she came in one day and she brought her big bag of pills into my office. And of course, my jaw hit the floor. I thought, what are these medications and why are you on so many? And so she started to tell me her story. And she has a family history of heart disease, family history of cancer, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It's just laid out in the DNA. So it takes quite a bit more effort for her to actually fight this and battle this. And so she went in to see her general practitioner and her OB-GYN, and of course it starts one day where, here, take this medication for your blood pressure, and then, okay, take this medication for your cholesterol, and then take this medication for hormone replacement therapy, and then take this medication for your headaches, and then, oh, you're having hot flashes now, well, let's take this medication for that, and you're having symptoms of menopause, well, let's take this medication for that. And then she had that baseline of medication, and they all come with what? Side effects. So she began to get the side effects of all the medications that she was taking. And so she goes back to the doctor. And he says, well, take this for the side effect of this, and I want you to take this medication for the side effect of this. And so she had just as many medications that she was taking to counteract the side effects of medications as she was taking medications for whatever her symptom or problem was. And at that point in time in my life, I thought, okay, something's not right here. I know this is not right. First of all, it should be a last resort to use medications to get you out of a position that you could get yourself out of without medication most of the time. But then when you're taking medication to counteract the side effects of medication, you've kind of gone into a realm that I don't like to see people go, and I certainly didn't like seeing my mother go. So, of course, she was getting side effects on top of side effects. So I said, you know what? Obviously, it's not within my scope to take you off all these medications right now, but I am going to tell you this. I'm going to commit to delving further into wellness, lifestyle changes, natural medicine. Have you ever heard the saying, food is medicine?
Yes.
Okay, so food can be your medicine, your lifestyle can be your medicine, natural things like botanicals, herbs, vitamins, minerals. There's a whole lot of things that you can take and put into your body if you know what you're supposed to take, and counteract some of these baseline diseases and conditions that you're dealing with. And so that's what I did, and that's what boosted me into the direction of natural medicine. Because I didn't like what I was seeing, first of all, with society, but then when it hits close to home, anybody ever had anything hit close to home? And that's when you wake up, you get the light bulb like, oh, no more, we're done, we're going to figure out a better way to do this. And so that's what pushed me into that direction. And so for the second half of my career, I focused a lot on natural medicine. I'll talk more about that in just a second. But that's my story. So I do have a Bachelor of Science in Human Biology. I have a Doctor of Chiropractic. And I also have a Doctor of Pastoral Science in Medicine. Let me explain that last one. In Texas, state by state, it depends on the state as to what types of doctors can practice natural medicine and what requirements they have to meet to practice natural medicine. In Texas, a Doctor of Chiropractic can practice natural medicine, but it has its limits and its limitations. So there are still some just doctors of chiropractic that practice it, but they're limited by certain scopes of practice that are written in the state law. So to get outside of that scope and be able to practice natural medicine completely and uninhibited without certain associations coming down on us and trying to say, hey, you're in my territory, you shouldn't be doing that or practicing that or advising patients along those lines. You have to get a Doctor of Pastoral Science in Medicine. And to meet the requirements there, you have to provide them with your continuing education that you've done in natural medicine and provide documentation and all of that. Send that in to the state board and they'll give you that doctorate, and so you can practice unlimited natural medicine under that. So, luckily, that doesn't mean I'm going to be a pastor. It's not the science of being a church pastor. But pastoral means, kind of on its base definition, being able to counsel and guide a patient in the natural remedies and natural realm of things. Okay? So that's kind of where they incorporate that unlimited natural medicine to a chiropractor. One that has met enough continuing education postdoctorate level. So, yes, and I am the owner here. Let me quickly introduce our co-speaker as well, Robin Roberts. Robin is trained in neuro-linguistic programming, emotional freedom technique, and is a certified hypnotist. She's been in practice for 9 years, and she also specializes in weight reduction, smoking cessation, stress reduction, mental clarity, career changes, and public speaking. So she is going to be an important part of what I call the triangle of health. I think that might be the next slide. Yes, triangle of health. So if you've read anything in our presentation or any of the handouts or the website or the landing page, you notice that we were going to address 3 main components of wellness, and of course along with wellness comes with reaching your ideal body weight. And in some cases, for some people, you have to lose weight to reach your ideal body weight. Some people have to gain weight to reach their ideal body weight. But either way, we're shooting for wellness. 3 main components of that. Robin will be addressing the psychological component. That is what she specializes in. That's what she's got 9 years of practice in. She is going to help you determine your mental obstacles. What is it in here that is your main hurdle, psychologically, mentally, that you have to get over and overcome in order to do some of the things that I'm about to tell you? Because I will tell you one thing as a practitioner, unless a person wants to get healthy of their own volition, or wants to lose weight of their own volition, there is nothing I can say or do. There's nothing you can say or do for your husband, your wife, your kid, your family member to convince them that that's the path they need to take. A light bulb has to go off in their head, and they have to realize this is what I need to do for myself. That's what Robin's going to address later in the seminar. So, yeah, the other 2 components, the physical component of health and the biochemical component of health. Does that make sense? The only way that you can completely be healthy as a person is to be physically healthy And that's the easy part we can see. People in the gym, running on the treadmill. Oh wow, I wish I could look like that. Yeah, they're physically healthy, but are they psychologically healthy? And are they biochemically healthy on the inside? Okay? I actually was in a seminar this morning supporting one of my colleagues who was also talking about wellness. One of the things he said, some people don't realize they are overweight or unhealthy, but on the inside, and you can't really see it on the outside. Well, how can that be? Well, take for example, a heart attack. What's the first symptom that most people have when they have a heart attack?
Death.
Death. Exactly. Death is usually the first symptom of a heart attack. We usually don't have a warning. We don't see our arteries clogging up. We don't feel it. You don't, oh man, that artery in my leg is really getting tight because it's starting to get cholesterol built. You don't feel that. The only thing you feel is when it gets to the point to where it just can't handle it anymore and your body breaks down. Your body gives up. Okay? So, we're going to talk about the physical side, and then one of the main things I'm going to talk about is the biochemical component. Moving right along. I'll get to the biochemistry in just a second. Weight loss doesn't work the same for everyone. Okay? Now there are those people out there, and we all know them. They're usually about 22. And they're like, well, gee, Susie, all you have to do is go to the gym and stop drinking sodas, and you'll lose weight, and everything will be all hunky-dory. And you're thinking, you don't even know the challenges that I face. I eat like a bird. I eat everything I'm supposed to eat, or everything I think I'm supposed to eat. I don't do the unhealthy things that you think I do. But guess what? My body is still holding on to this weight, and it's still packing on more weight, and I haven't changed a thing that I can think of externally. I go to the gym. I work out 3 times a week. Why am I not losing weight? Why am I not gaining muscle? What's the problem? That's where the biochemistry comes in. Hey. Anybody else?
Just me.
So, it is not just about cutting out sodas and not going to fast food and going to the gym. There's a whole lot more involved for a lot of people when it comes to losing weight and getting healthy. So, the 5 major factors that are often ignored or not addressed. One of the big ones that a lot of people, some people may know, but a lot of people don't, is the connection between the gut and overall health and weight management. Some people don't realize that if your normal bacteria in the gut is off, that can cause you to gain weight. If you are not absorbing the nutrients that you need from your diet, and you know what, you could still be eating the right foods, but because your gut is unhealthy, it's not breaking it down right, and you're not absorbing the nutrients that you need. So if there is absorption issues in the gut, you're going to gain weight, or your body is going to hang on to that weight. A lot of times, when I get people that are trying to lose weight, at first they lose a certain amount of weight or a certain amount of pounds, and then they hit a plateau. They hit a brick wall, and they can't get past that plateau or that brick wall. That's usually when the body is getting down to the nuts and bolts of the matter. It's getting down to the biochemistry of the body. What's going on a hormone level? What's going on a digestive level? Are you getting the nutrients you need? What's going on your vitamins and minerals? Are you deficient somewhere? Your body may be hanging on to these things because it doesn't have the building blocks to perform the processes that it needs to perform to get rid of the waste and the toxins and produce a metabolic rate that's going to help you lose fatty tissue. Okay? Food allergies and sensitivities. You ever heard of that? Most of us have heard of things like gluten and dairy and peanuts. That's kind of the most common ones we've heard of. But you can be sensitive to what most of us might consider a healthy food. Little story, one of my favorites. I had a lady, she had this was a patient of mine probably 3 or 4 years ago. She finally decided to get the food and sensitivity test after I begged her because she had gone through my program and she had hit that brick wall, she had hit that plateau. She couldn't figure out why she couldn't get to that next level of wellness that she wanted to get to. And she always told me, I eat an apple every morning for breakfast. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. You know, you've heard that saying. And she lived by that. And I thought that was just a saying. But some people actually take that to heart. Well, we did the food sensitivity and allergy test, and her most reactive food was an apple. It was at the top of the list. It was what was causing the most inflammation and irritation in the bowels of anything else that she had in her diet, and she ate it every day. And she was wondering why she had constant bloating, constipation, irregularity, feelings of low energy, no drive to do anything. It's the data. It's in the data. If we can run the test and get it in black and white, then we know exactly what you as an individual have to avoid, and you know exactly what you can take in to put your gut into the best position and environment to get the most it can out of its meals and reverse any inflammation or irritation that may be going on.
Can you perform that test on teenagers?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Vitamin and mineral deficiencies, I talked a little bit about that. Hormone dysfunction, and the psychological and mental obstacles. These are the 5 things that a lot of people just don't, they know, or they might kind of know, they don't really focus on, because most of the people that are doing weight loss programs out there are not doctors. They're business owners, maybe trainers. They don't have that underlying biochemical knowledge. They don't have the training for psychological and mental obstacles and how to overcome that. They just think calories in, calories out. Burn the calories you take in, burn them, go to the gym, through the motions, and you're going to lose weight. Have any of you ever watched the show Biggest Loser? Yeah? You know the guy, what's the guy, the top trainer?
Bob Green.
Bob. Saw an interview with him just the other day. He said, and I totally agree because he quoted me. I think he called me and got this information. He said, you know, when I first entered into that program, I thought it was going to be just work the hell out of them on the treadmill and weights and everything you can think of to just get them to just burn it off, melt it off. And what he came to realize was that 80% of the battle was here, Robin, and nutrition. 80%. That was 80% of the battle. Nutrition and psychological guidance and clarity. I agree. That doesn't mean we don't have to exercise. Doesn't mean we can sit on the couch all day. But it does tell you it's not as big as a part, it's not as big of a piece of the pie as we once thought it was. Okay? So, biochemistry, that's the chemical processes that occur in the body. I think you kind of all understand that. The biochemical part of health, it is those tiny little processes. It's what does your body do with vitamin A? What does your body do with this electrolyte? What does your body do with this carbohydrate and this protein and this amino acid? And how does it coalesce all of those components and make something happen? So guess what? If it's not there, do you think it's going to be able to complete that process? If your metabolism relies heavily on a particular amino acid or vitamin, and that component is missing, is it going to work properly? No. Your body's going to find workarounds. And a lot of times that involves making your body store and retain fat. The physiology of the body is how the systems of the body function. So my point here, optimal biochemistry, if we can get your vitamins, minerals, hormones, foods, nutrition, get all of that right for you as an individual. Because guess what? Your food sensitivities are not going to be the same as yours. Your hormones and the things that need to be supported hormonally are not going to be the same as they are for you. So we've kind of got a foundation of things that everybody knows they have to do, but then it gets down to a very individualized game between you and what's going on the inside. And so we have to test for it, figure out what those components are, and address those. Okay? So if we have optimal biochemistry, then our physiology works properly. The body systems work properly. We'll have normal internal health, and that's going to lead to better weight management. Okay? Remember this. I am coming at this from a medical angle. Okay? A lot of times when you hear about weight loss, like I said before, they're not coming at it from a medical or science angle. They're coming at it from a fad diet angle or just exercise more kind of angle. Okay? So we're trying to get all of the components and make it make sense in your head. Okay? So real quick, some of the micronutrients that we look at when I'm testing. I'm going to test you for vitamins, minerals, amino acids, antioxidants, fatty acids, and metabolites. It's a lot of different things, and there's a lot of different vitamins and a lot of different minerals. And one of the tests that I run probably covers about 40 or so different micronutrients. So it's pretty easy for your body to be off on at least 1 or 7 of those. Yeah, because I have yet to have someone have a perfect micronutrient profile. You want to be the first?
Yeah. Yes,
I have yet to have that. Now I will tell you this. I had someone on my program for 6 months. They redid the test, and they had no deficiencies after that. I did have that happen. Now, usually the deficiencies will slowly start to drop off. But in this one particular case, she had about 8 or 9 deficiencies. 6 months later, she had no deficiencies. And of course, she was a whole lot healthier too at the time. So, on micronutrients, that's the vitamins, minerals, and the list of amino acids and things that I was just showing you. This is an example of how so many different things can affect the weight management of the body. So let me just pick one out. Let's just say I do a profile on you, a SpectraCell profile for vitamin and mineral deficiencies, and you come up deficient in asparagine. This amino acid increases insulin sensitivity, which helps the body have more, store energy in muscle instead of storing it as body fat. So if you don't have this, your insulin sensitivity goes down, and your body will tend to store your energy as fat instead of as lean muscle. That's just this one. That's just this one. Okay? We have to be completely level on all of these for your body to work at its most efficient level. Does that make sense? Okay, great. I kind of get pumped up, so bear with me. Another thing I talked about was hormones. We've all heard of estrogen, testosterone. Has anybody heard of cortisol? Yeah. DHEA, DHT, androstenedione, melatonin, thyroid hormone. Those are other things that I like to test because they all play very integral roles in metabolism and weight management. They have other roles too, but they have very important roles in overall wellness and weight management.
Do you do bioidentical hormones here?
I do not.
You do.
I do not. But I have heard of that. A lot of OBs do that.
Yeah.
Cortisol, metabolism of fats and carbs. It plays a big role in metabolism of fats and carbs. High levels of cortisol contributes to insulin resistance and diabetes. High levels cause retention of abdominal fat. None of us have that, right? High cortisol levels will contribute to your body specifically putting the fatty tissue in the abdomen. Okay? And a little bit on the top of the back too. Don't you like that? It's a good spot for it, right?
Yeah.
Just put it right up here.
Yeah.
So, sleep deprivation, stress, and caffeine. Those are all things that raise your cortisol levels. I know I've had times in my life where I've had sleep deprivation. I've had times in my life, maybe all the time, stress and caffeine. Okay? A lot of people take in way too much caffeine. Caffeine on a mild to moderate level, not a big deal. But just know this, if you're going overboard with the caffeine, it's driving up your cortisol levels and it's putting fat on your abdomen. Just going to throw that out there. Estrogen also plays a role in metabolism and digestion. I've already discussed the connection between the gut and weight management and health. So abnormal levels will promote fat storage and it will also decrease your digestion. So those levels have to be correct. I'm going to just run through these. Progesterone interacts with cortisol and estrogen, so it's kind of a precursor to those two. Testosterone, studies link low testosterone to weight gain, particularly in men. Low testosterone will promote fat retention around the abdomen and the trunk. So that means the upper part and the lower part. Okay? Is this about not having sodas and going to the gym? No. These are other important biochemical components to weight management. DHEA plays a role with estrogen and testosterone. Melatonin. Everybody knows what melatonin is, right? It regulates your what? Sleep. So it regulates your sleep cycles, circadian rhythms. So, if you have a lack of sleep or sleep disorders, that will cause deregulation of other hormones, and in particular cortisol. So if your melatonin's off and your sleep is off, well, what did we just say caused cortisol levels to go up? Sleep deprivation. So it's a cycle. They feed each other. So the cortisol goes up, and then you have weight gain. Or you may not have weight gain, but you may not have the ability to lose weight. Two different things. Thyroid hormones, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that plays a big role in metabolism. Does anybody know anyone that's hypothyroid?
Yes.
Okay? That means the thyroid is working at a lower level than it should be. It's not putting out enough thyroid hormone. So if it's low, and it needs to be supported with whatever, that may be some type of nutraceutical, or it may just be dietary, nutritional, lifestyle, whatever the case may be, sometimes, in fact a lot of the time, you can support your thyroid hormone levels without having to get on the thyroid medication. Or if we can take care of a lot of that, a lot of the peripheral things, then maybe one of the last things you can get off of would be your thyroid medication. Okay? Because all the things that are driving the thyroid down, we've fixed. Okay? So those are good things to kind of look for. What role does the gut play in weight loss and overall wellness? Let me share with you some facts here. Sugars and sweeteners put into our foods here in America have increased by a factor of 20 times over the last 50 years. Does anybody realize that? We all know that they pump junk into our foods. 20 times more sugar and sweetener is put into our foods today than 50 years ago. It's stunning. So I'm going to share with you 3 examples of foods that are marketed as health foods that you should never eat. Or, if you do, do not justify it by calling it healthy. Okay? So these are the things you, and I'm giving you just 3 examples. There's dozens of them. But I'm going to give you 3 examples. Okay?
You don't want to have it really taken with you.
Yogurt. Okay? Yogurt. In particular, Yoplait. But most yogurts are packed full of sugar. Now, way back, a couple decades ago, the big enemy was fat. Fatty foods, that's what drives up your cholesterol, that's what gives you heart attacks and strokes. We've come to find out it plays a little bit of a role, but the biggest role in heart disease, and what's the number one killer in America? Heart disease. Okay? The biggest role in driving up your cholesterol and hardening of the arteries, strokes and heart attacks, is sugar. Okay? So if you're going to target one thing in your diet, if you're going to take one nugget home, and you're going to read one thing on the label, that one thing should be sugar content. And I guarantee you, if you start doing that, you're going to be floored at how much sugar goes in to products. I personally like to just recommend, if it has to have a label on it, if you don't know what it is without a label, maybe make that a very minimal part of your diet. I tell people, shop the grocery store on the perimeter, because that's where your produce, your meats, your organic foods. Once you get in the middle, you can start going up down those aisles. Preservative and sweeteners and sugars city right there. Why? Because it lasts longer if it has more sugar and preservatives, and if it lasts longer, they can sell it and they can make more money, right? And that's okay. I'm fine with that. Capitalism, I like it. But if you're educated, you can make the choice whether you're going to support that or not. So, 6 ounces of yogurt should only have 13 grams of natural sugars from milk. Any more of that, and you have to check the serving size. They like to get you on serving size. So you may get a 6 ounce thing of yogurt, and they'll say it's got 13 grams of sugar in 3 ounces. Oh, serving size was 3 ounces, so I'm only supposed to eat half of this cup if I want to keep it down to 13 grams of sugar. Most people don't look at that. They look at the label and they think that pertains to the entire package, right? So, watch serving size, okay? You may have to double it.
There's a
Yes.
Greek yogurt that's sweetened with stevia. How do you feel about that?
Stevia is a much healthier alternative to sweetening, okay?
I had some right before I got
Yeah,
We will now shun you.
No, stevia is a much healthier alternative. And usually if they're sweetening it with stevia, you...
chicory root.
Huh?
It had some chicory root in it also.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And I say that it's fine if you don't happen to be sensitive to dairy. Because that's a whole nother ballgame, okay? But let's just say, for example, you don't have a sensitivity or allergy to dairy, and it's sweetened with stevia, with a low amount of that, then you're making a pretty good choice there. Yeah. This is one of my favorite ones here. Beware of yogurt claiming probiotic benefits. Okay? Activia. You heard that, right? Okay? So we know the one that really promotes probiotic benefits. When yogurt is pasteurized, it has to be, most of the good bacteria is killed off. You will not get much of a probiotic benefit to show much of a difference if you're eating yogurt for that particular purpose. That's the facts. Okay? Might be a few that survive in there, but it's not going to be enough to make a difference as far as gut flora. Okay? Yes?
There is this yogurt that the only yogurt I buy, which is in glass jars, and it's the Bulgarian yogurt with no added sugar or anything.
Good.
So it has only 2 bacterias, the Lactobacillus bulgaris and Thermophilus, which are the Greek and the Bulgarian. No sugar at all. So if you want to put some stevia or something that you know what you're putting in, it's
Right.
probably best.
Yes.
But just the fact that has been packaged, it's already not good.
Exactly.
No matter what
And
health
another
choice you
problem
make,
is-
if it's packaged.
Another problem is the fact that it only has 2 strains of bacteria, the
Correct.
good bacteria,
Yeah.
which I've got a slide a little further in the presentation. Any probiotic or anything that you're taking for probiotic should have at least 8 to 10 strains of the good bacteria, and it should have at least 10 to 15 billion colony-forming units in those. So these are details that they don't tell you. That's what I'm for. I can tell you if it's the proper product and if it's something that's going to be beneficial for you or not. But yeah, so it has 2 strains of bacteria. It's been packaged, but the good thing about it is
It's in glass.
in glass. The good thing about it is it has no sugar.
Correct.
That's a big part right there. And if you're not dairy sensitive, more power to you. Lastly, steer clear of any yogurt containing high fructose corn syrup. This is the #1 fat-forming ingredient in America. We've all heard of that, right? Be careful on products that say no sugar added. Be careful on products that say sugar-free. Because you still need to read the other ingredients, okay? If they are putting other preservatives and other substitutes, artificial sweeteners, that's worse than having a product with just regular sugar in it, okay?
I'm shocked at how many things in the health food section and gluten-free section has the high fructose.
If I want to entertain myself like a big nerd, I will go walk down the health food aisle at the grocery store, and I'll pick it up, and I'll read the label, and I'll just chuckle to myself. I'll put that one down, and I'll pick up the next one.
I laugh at
and
organic cane sugar.
Yeah, what is it?
Like organic cane sugar. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
just
Right.
sugar.
Or how about this? This is hilarious. There are candy bars that say gluten-free.
Yeah.
So it's automatically healthy, right?
Yeah.
If it's gluten-free, it's got to be healthy.
Most gluten-free
Well, of
products
course
are
it's
horrible.
gluten-free
I know,
because
I
it's
know.
pure
So
sugar.
much sugar in them.
Well, and even like
So.
Whole Foods. I mean, I go there and I can't even buy their chicken that's already cooked because you look at it and there's sugar. Sugar.
Oh,
I'm like,
let me tell you something. Who travels? Who's been to Europe? Okay, so a lot of people have been to Europe. Have you noticed? Well, and even statistically, they don't have the rate of obesity that we have here in America.
Right.
Okay?
They're working on it.
Yeah, if they keep
We're
taking after
exporting
us.
yeah.
But if you notice, sometimes you can look at their diet and you go, man, they're eating pretzels, they're eating Wiener Schnitzel, they're eating some of the same stuff that we consider bad. Why are they not as overweight as America? They don't have the amount of sugars, sweeteners, and additives and preservatives put into their food that we have here in America, because the government regulates it over there. They ban a lot of preservatives, ban a lot of artificial sweeteners, so they don't have that being put into their food. I'm not saying pretzels are good for you. I'm just saying how quickly it makes their body unhealthy is slower, because our pretzel, well, here's an example. A German piece of sausage or bratwurst, no sugar. Who would have ever thought that in America there are sausages and bratwursts where they will add 50 milligrams of sugar. Sugar!
To kill the salt.
Into the sausage or the bratwurst.
Right.
You would never think that you would have a problem with sugar in those.
Right.
But yeah. So,
And the GMOs.
and the GMOs. So wheat bread. Wheat bread is often worse than white bread because it contains high fructose corn syrup. One thing worse than sugar, high fructose corn syrup. Why? I'm going to go off right here on high fructose corn syrup. Okay? It needs to be banned, but it's not. Hopefully maybe one day it will. High fructose corn syrup is 20 times sweeter than sugar. That's why we love it so much. It is a chemical that is not recognized by our body, our brain. It is a foreign substance. Our body does not recognize it as sugar. It recognizes it as a foreign substance. But it does recognize it as sweet, and it recognizes it as addictive. Because high fructose corn syrup confuses the hormone called ghrelin, which is our hungry hormone. So, it will stimulate more release of ghrelin so that you continue to stay hungry. Right behind that, it will confuse and disrupt the hormone leptin, which is I'm full. So it tells you I'm hungry and I'm not full. And so therefore you keep eating more and more and more of those products that contain sugar and high fructose corn syrup. Okay? So, some studies have shown that high fructose corn syrup can be as addictive or even more addictive than cocaine or heroin. And some studies have even stated that 80% of Americans are addicted to high fructose corn syrup.
Do you think that some people who have sugar addiction, it started with, I mean, I'm sure it's any sugar, but it started because of all the high fructose corn syrup?
It started because of the food companies unwittingly and unknowingly pumping that and just stealth-like putting it into our foods.
It's
And we
cheaper.
just continue
Sweeter
to
than
eat.
sugar.
And, huh?
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper,
And
exactly.
if I, may I
Oh,
inject
yeah,
something?
yeah, absolutely.
If you wanna talk politics, high fructose corn syrup, so what's in it?
Corn.
Corn, what do we have, silos and silos and silos and
Corn.
silos full of in this country that is handled by government subsidy?
Yes,
They've got to put it somewhere,
yes.
and that was a big motivation for getting it done. The Omnivore's Dilemma is a wonderful book to read and learn more about that.
While we're on corn, real quick tidbit for you. If you know anyone that's gluten sensitive, or there's a difference between gluten sensitive and gluten intolerant. The gluten intolerant feels it immediately.
Yeah.
Oh man, why did I eat that? Oh, cramping, run to the bathroom, whatever. But you can be gluten sensitive and not know for days or weeks later when your skin breaks out, when your joints hurt, okay? Corn can molecularly mimic, because it's just like one protein or amino acid or molecule is just barely different chemically, corn, than gluten. Yes. So a lot of times people that are gluten sensitive or gluten intolerant, they also need to know that they should probably avoid corn or corn products, because those can cause the same effects as gluten. So, ultimately our bodies turn unknown, artificial, unrecognizable substances into fat. If it doesn't know what it is, it's going to turn it into fat. And it doesn't know what high fructose corn syrup is. Third thing, cereal bars. Okay? Special K bars are marketed as a premier healthy bar. It contains sugar, but that wasn't enough. We're going to put sugar and high fructose corn syrup. Okay? So they double it. Other bars also contain high maltose corn syrup, sugar cane fiber, brown sugar, and fructose. This is a recipe for weight gain.
Are there any good bars? I mean, I'm not like I know just a lot of people like grab them quickly. I know there's some that say they're good, but are they actually good?
No, there are, but they should be. You should find the healthiest bar that is out there. What is the name of that bar?
Yes.
There's not many. Let me tell you, there's not many, because they want them to have a long shelf life and they pack them full.
You probably can't find any of the good ones at
There's
the
a
gas
lady here in
station,
the
probably.
Woodlands. They're called Marigold bars. She makes them at her house and sells them.
What's in the bar?
Oh,
And see, this
I'll
is
look
another
it
thing.
up.
Before you pick out a bar, you also need to be conscious of the fact that if this is made out of peanuts and oats and barley and whatever else that sounds good because it's grains and nuts, you still have to consider the fact that I may not react well to those things, because those are common reactive foods. Grains are common reactive foods. Okay, so even though it may be healthy in as much as it doesn't have artificial sweeteners and sugars and things like that, you've still got to be careful packing your body with a lot of grains. And a lot of the cereal bars are really dense with grains. There is one, and I'm going to think of it in a minute. There's also one that my company makes that's pretty good. But all of those bars, they should be for emergencies. You know, like, man, I'm hungry and I don't want to make a bad choice right now, so I'm going to take the bar out, break it in half, and eat this until I can get somewhere where I can eat healthy. That's the purpose of a bar. Okay? One of the good ones, anyway. All right? So the number one carb you should never eat. Has anyone ever heard of olestra or olein? Okay. Okay. And when I say carb, I'm saying carb because olestra or olein is actually a fake fat. So, when you see something that says fat-free diet or light, 9 times out of 10, they are taking the fat out, but they're replacing it with olestra or olein. Okay? saying it's usually in, well, I think I have a list right here. It's usually in potato chips, in the diet fat-free or light versions of potato chips, crackers, cheeses, pastries, ice creams, fried foods, margarine. Okay, so that is the number one carb or fake fat that is in carbs that you should never eat. Okay? It blocks the gut from absorbing very important vitamins and minerals. It clogs digestion. It irritates the bowels. It causes constipation. It causes irritable bowel syndrome. Leaky gut. Leaky gut means that the gaps in the intestines get too loose, and so therefore toxic material seeps into the bloodstream. Bacteria that shouldn't get in seeps into the bloodstream, and you start feeling sluggish and tired, and it could be infection. That's the problem from the gut. So,
I have a question.
yes.
So, you'd just be better off not eating regular, I mean, obviously it's not good for you, but we're just regular, like, ice cream versus,
Yeah.
I mean,
Two evils. What's the lesser of the evil? It's like it's like Trump and Hillary right now, right? Okay. So we're trying to pick the lesser of the evils. Okay. That's kind of the.
Oh, yes, you
Ice
do.
cream.
there you go.
I can say that because I'm an independent. Okay. Just an analogy. Some people love Hillary. Some people love Trump. That's fine. But a lot of people will equate it that. It's like trying to pick the lesser of two evils. I think in general with politicians, we all feel that way. You try to pick the lesser of the evils, you know. But yeah, that's the way it is. You know one's bad, but guess which one's worse? The light diet or fat-free version is always worse.
And
Okay.
I will tell clients in terms, if they must drink some soda,
Yeah, they
I'll
must.
tell them to drink Mexican soda, because it actually has cane sugar in it instead of all the other stuff.
But it's still sugar.
It's still sugar. I
And
mean,
you
I'm
have
not
to
saying
keep
that's
that in
good,
mind.
but we
Exactly.
work on it. We're
I hear a
working.
lot of people, well, I'm going to just use
Baby
raw
steps.
sugar. Well, it's still sugar.
Yeah.
You just it isn't
No,
less.
organic
is it-
sugar.
Yeah, organic
It's
sugar. It's still sugar.
Still sugar.
Is it less sugar in I'm not.
I don't know
familiar
about
with
whether
it.
it's
I don't
less
know.
or not, but
cane
it's
sugar
but it's
instead.
not aspartame and it's not
Right.
high fructose
But is it
corn
less
syrup.
grams of sugar? That's what I don't know. You know how many grams of sugar is in a Pepsi?
20
No.
something.
Not the
Oh.
12 ounce, but I think it's the 16 ounce, the plastic bottle. 68 grams.
You know,
68 grams of
this
sugar.
is like 2 handfuls.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
how much
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. All right. So food sensitivities. We talked about that. Food sensitivities that can cause bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea, skin breakouts, low libido, brain fog, low immune, allergies. Supporting proper digestion by eliminating food sensitivities can help you lose weight and also get rid of some of these other bothersome things that you might deal with. Okay?
What kind of test is that? Is it?
It is a blood test.
One of his tests?
It is a blood test. And sometimes people, well, my doctor did a food sensitivity test on me, but he only tests like 50 items. You gotta
I
have a
just
more.
tested Caitlin for celiac, and the
Yeah.
phone call was, no, she doesn't have it, thanks.
Right.
Okay, well, my daughter's still having horrible stomach cramps.
Okay.
So-
She was not tested for gluten sensitivity. She was tested for celiac disease. Two different things. Something we can discuss
I
later.
just had that test done
I know
and
she's
I was
gluten sensitive. Her
amazed.
poor little stomach goes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You don't have celiac disease. I'm like,
See, what happens is they will test for one antigen. The most common antigen that your body gives off when it is reacting to gluten. Okay? But there's actually a list of about 16 different antigens that your body can make an inflammatory reaction. And so you have to get that full profile, a full gluten sensitivity profile to really know if you're gluten sensitive.
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh, I am so sorry, y'all. I am just going and going and going. Let me talk about probiotics real quick. Bad bacteria in the gut feed on sugar and cause gas, bloating, constipation, and IBS. When the bad bacteria overgrows, it can spill out of your digestive tract and into your bloodstream and cause low energy, low metabolism, and brain fog. Did you know that? Did you know that if you have an unhealthy gut and you have more of the bad bacteria than the good bacteria, it can spill over into your bloodstream and cause lethargic effects. Okay? So gut health is very important. Quick quote, most women don't have an inkling that their symptoms could be caused by bad bacteria overgrowth in their bodies. The number of women suffering in silence, not even knowing what is wrong, and blaming themselves for failing is, I believe, literally numbered in the millions. Millions of women who can't lose weight and have no idea why. Dr. Carolyn Dean, MD, ND, and she is also an author of several wellness books. Evidence from clinical research demonstrates that adding good bacteria to the diet promotes a healthy digestive system and immune system. Dr. Alan Walker, Harvard Medical School. Probiotics are more beneficial than a multivitamin. Just a little tidbit to throw out there for you. Okay? There are natural metabolism boosters, natural fat burners that we can come up with that we can stimulate metabolism without the use of artificial stimulants. There are natural craving suppressors and when I say natural, I'm talking about some of the herbals and nutraceuticals and things that I deal with as an alternative to prescription medication that can suppress cravings, reduce appetite, so that you have to use less willpower. So probiotics, natural craving suppressors, digestive enzymes is a huge part also of my program. So, the main weight gain producers, preservatives, added sugars, sweeteners, and artificial additives, bad gut bacteria, overeating, slow metabolism, and emotions. Those are your top 5 things that cause weight gain here in America, and maybe even around the world. Okay? So, if you were born after 1942, you've probably never had a properly supported digestive system since the 1950s. So many sweeteners and preservatives have been added to our foods that our digestive system has not been able to keep up. Nearly 80% of Americans have poor digestion, and 100% of overweight people have poor digestion.
Yeah, there's the saying, overweight but underfed.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, and there's a lot of meaning to that.
They're overweight, but there's no nutrition in what they're eating.
Exactly, exactly. And that's why they're in the position that they're in. Just exercising is not enough, so pay close attention to your nutrition. All right. One of the things I like to say about me and my clinic, I test, I don't guess. I get a lot of people that say, well, I'm taking zinc because they say, who's they? They say it helps with this. Or I'm taking this particular product because they say it helps with. How do you know that's what you need? What supplement or product or whatever may help you may be something totally different than what you think it is just because they say. You need to test, get it in black and white, and that will help you determine if you're taking the right product or supplement. We'll talk about detox another time. Okay, so Robin.
Yes!
Come on up here.
All
Talk
right.
to us a little bit about the psychological component.
All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Can I say this right here?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Okay, well, that was fascinating. And some of these things you kind of think you know, but there's a whole lot more to the science out there. But here's the bottom line. Even after everything Dr. Thigpen said, it's all in your head. It is all in your head. Because no matter what if you keep doing the same behavior, if you don't change your thinking, you will end up in the same place you are right now. Or maybe even worse. So I'm not saying that's not important. I'm not saying don't test. What I'm saying is let's get all in. And our beliefs drive us completely in our lives. I'm going to tell a story on myself as a demonstration of how powerful belief is, because we take action from what we believe. So one day, I was sitting in a coffee shop having a conversation with a friend of mine. Now this is a coffee shop, you know, they have the one big long wall and then there's little 2 tops dotted all the way down the wall. So I'm sitting with my back to the wall, my friend's sitting across from me, and I'm chatting with her and it's time to go. And so I slide over to stand up from behind the table and give her a hug. Except as I slide over, I crash on the floor, and now I am sprawled everywhere. Nice dress, pantyhose, stockings, the whole thing. Just completely embarrassing. The chair goes flying. Everybody's looking, and you're like, oh, no, I'm fine. I had no idea if I was actually fine, but I just wanted people to stop looking at me. And, you know, collected myself, put the chair back up, sat in the chair, and my friend looked at me and was like, what just happened? I'm like, I have no idea. But it really bothered me, and I started thinking about it. And what I realized as I was thinking about this is that if you had asked me a nanosecond before I stood up, I would have told you I was on a bench, right? I was going to slide over on the bench and stand up. But ladies and gentlemen, I was on a chair. I literally slid my backside right off the chair and onto the floor, and the law of gravity worked very well. But I acted from my belief. My belief was I was on a bench. And I didn't question it. We can't run around questioning all our beliefs all the time. But wow, look at the results I got based on a mistaken belief. So how many beliefs do you think we have around food? Oh yeah, lots of beliefs. Lots of beliefs. So we've got to change our beliefs about food. And how do we change the beliefs? I mean, do you even know what your beliefs are? Do you even know? Because I would suggest to you that you don't. That we operate, and we always have, from the time we were very little. When you are born, you are completely receptive. You are, of course, at the mercy of your environment. And your parents, and this is not blaming your parents, we're not going there. But your parents taught you the best they knew, and the best that their parents taught them. So you've got information and beliefs from your parents, your authority figures, your siblings. Oh no, my siblings are great. Your friends, and all of these things you just took in. Okay, how many of you have been sitting at a dinner table an hour after everybody left? Because you're going to clean your plate, young lady, aren't you? Because there are people starving somewhere. I want you to think about that for a minute. Anybody have that experience growing up? Mm-hmm. Where'd they get it? The parents. Where'd the parents get it? It was an event called the Great Depression. You eat what's in front of you, because there may not be more. Whoa! My gosh, look at us. We've got a huge abundance. We don't have to clean our plate, but of course we could put less on the plate. That would be a good start. So we have these beliefs around what we eat, and every day we're engaged in those. We have accepted these beliefs up to the time we're 6. And then between 6 and 12, we start going, oh, wait a minute. I am not the world is not me. Yeah, I mean, you look at a little kid, they don't know a difference between, the world is them, right? Yes, everybody pay attention. Then there's this separation, and you begin to start questioning, and then you hit your teenage years, and now you are questioning more things, but you've got your peers and other things coming in. So all of these beliefs have grown organically within us. But the great news is we're adults now, and we can stop and we can change our beliefs. And honestly, if you don't change the beliefs that you have around food, you are not going to drop the weight. Because you can go on a diet, the diet doesn't change your belief. The best thing is to change, to identify what your belief is, to question it. Let's talk about what a belief is for a moment. I have a definition that I got. I love looking up definitions. What is a belief? A belief is trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. Is the word true anywhere in that? No. You can have a belief. You can believe it with your whole heart. You can be committed to it. It doesn't mean it's true. You can believe that that healthy cereal bar that you just ate for breakfast is such a better alternative. You have faith in the company that advertised that. But it doesn't mean it's true. So we have to question our beliefs and go, okay, is this the best thing for me? I mean, people used to believe the world was flat, right?
I thought that a second ago when you were talking about that. I wanted to say, remember when everyone thought the world was flat?
There you go, there you go. So the good news is that we can change our beliefs. So how? How do we change our beliefs? Well, first of all, we have to be open. We have to be willing to go, wow, you know, I don't think what I've been doing is working for me. My personal story, as far as weight goes, I have been up and down many times in my life. When I was 12, my mom took me to TOPS. Anybody remember TOPS? Take Off Pounds Sensibly? Weight Watchers? Yep. And I was told, you would be so beautiful if you would just drop 20 pounds. As I stand here and say that to you in my 50s, that I still remember. That I still carry with me. Whoa, we get some zingers in there on top of everything else with all the weight things. So, and I have dropped and gained pounds many times, but this last time, I believe I have changed my mind. I used hypnosis, I used a nutrition program, I got the weight off, it's been 6 years. So it is possible. It is possible. And when I go now, do anybody like, oh, I want a snack, I want, what, something salty, something sweet, something, yeah, I'm the one who's looking at the roast beef now. Because I'm looking for protein instead of carbs. And that was a belief change for me.
So is it I'm so sorry, I know we have time issues, but when you're sitting here talking about all this, I have so many things running through my mind right now, and I'm like, I want to go out right now and get me some cheese sticks, and some ice cream. Like,
dairy! Oh, yeah, hey.
I mean, what's the deal
So
with
how-
when
so-
you're talking about things that
Okay,
you
let's
know are
step back.
healthy and...
Step back just for a minute and stop thinking about the food for a minute and step back. Do we have all your anxiety going about food right now? Do we have all your anxiety running? Oh my God, I need some comfort. Oh my God, those cheesesteaks and that ice cream. Oh my God, that is so good. We have dinged her stress, and she's running to food to go, oh my God, yes, yum, 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 yum. It's a belief. It's a belief. Because food is or it isn't, but because I can eat something and feel one way, and you can eat something and feel a different way, so there's beliefs tied up in there. Okay, so let me shortcut to how do we change beliefs, and that's where hypnosis comes in, that's where neuro-linguistic programming comes in, and the emotional freedom technique. None of which I'm going to demonstrate tonight, but I am going to explain them to you. And hypnosis, people, wow, does that stuff really work? It's from the ancient Greek sleep temples. I feel that hypnosis is nature's way of shutting you down and pushing out all the extra stuff. So when you start feeling like that, what I'm going to tell you, breathe deep, let go, and just go, it's all right, and breathe it out. And put yourself in that quiet state. Hypnosis is simply focused attention. That's all it is. A hypnotist is the one that is giving you the suggestions while you are in a state of focused attention. When you're reading a book and you get lost in a book and you look up and you go, oh crud, I should have been asleep 2 hours ago because I got to get up at 5, but this book is really good. But you didn't realize the time was passing. You are in a state of focused concentration, also known as hypnosis. But the book is your hypnotist. Well, when we're working together, I am your hypnotist. I am your narrator. And we spend a lot of time talking about what it is that gets those things revved up and finding alternatives. And then as you go into that state of hypnosis, the solutions that we found that you basically are telling me are going to work for you. Of course, I might go, hey, have you ever thought about this? Oh, no, that's a great idea too. And I'm going to put that in there too. But basically, I believe that we all know exactly what's best for us. But we haven't tapped it. We haven't tapped it. My job is to help you tap it. My job is not to let you do this my way. My job is to help you find the best way for you to do it. So, in hypnosis, we can examine what our beliefs are, and then you use the neuro-linguistic programming. Anybody just have one belief that they can think of about their food right now?
It's love.
It's love. It's love. Okay. All right. So just close your eyes just for a moment. Okay. And let's just think about this for a moment. Oh, it's love. Let's see that lovely cheesecake dancing toward us. It's so sexy, and it wants to wrap its little cheesy arms around you and just, ooh, now we're mushy and messy, aren't we? Okay. Is it love now? No. So we can change it. You see, we can use that. Oh, I gotta do this.
Shower.
I know. Okay, look, you need a shower. Is that not amazing? I mean, she's like, ew, and she doesn't have cheesecake all over her. You don't. Okay, hang on just a minute, because this is really cool. Okay, hypnosis. Why does it work? Lemon. Yeah? Madam, put it in your mouth. Can you imagine?
Salivating now.
You getting it?
Yeah.
You getting it? Yes?
Right here.
Right there? Yeah, it's tingling. It's starting and I'm making a mess. Okay. Who's got the salivation going? Yeah. Your brain doesn't know you didn't just put the lemon in your mouth. It thinks you did. You experienced it by my doing this and showing you. It's actually pretty good, and I always did eat lemons when I was a kid. But that is what we do in hypnosis. We can, and specifically in the virtual gastric band that I do for folks, we actually walk through having the band put on your stomach. And I'll be honest with you, I do not support physically, literally doing that, because you're messing with a perfect system. But I'm all for letting the brain think that the stomach is smaller. We're getting fuller faster. Oh, I can't eat anymore. It helps with portion size. So that's just kind of one of the things that we do with hypnosis. The cheesecake is neuro-linguistic programming. We're changing the interaction of you with that belief so that you will never look at that the same way again. Right, okay. Let's see, what I want to take. Oh, the cortisol, the melatonin. Here's an important fact. When we were built, when we were designed, millennia ago, or however, and I'm not going to get in an argument there, but when we were designed for fight or flight. Here's the saber-toothed tiger. Ah! We're running away or we're fighting it, and our adrenaline's pumping, right? We got it all going. The epinephrine, the cortisol, the whatever we got, right? I don't know. You can list all the chemicals. I'm not the chemical person, but it's all going. And then the saber-toothed tiger, we killed it or it's run away. And we go, what? And that is a whole other set of chemicals that come through your body. And that second set washes away all the first set of chemicals. Fast forward to 2016. It's not a saber-toothed tiger, it's a cell phone, it's the computer, it's the kids, it's the traffic, it's the business, I don't know, am I doing this, and it's at you, it's a television. Turn off the freaking television, people. It's at you all the time. You don't get. You're not getting it. If you practice hypnosis, or you have some other quiet practice, your body gets that, and it washes away the cortisol. It allows some of these other chemicals to do their work, but you've got to be proactive. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead and ask my dear sweet Patrick to come up here, because Patrick has graciously come to be an example. Oh, Johnny, he's such a sweetie. And I want you to know that.
Hi, Patrick.
This is Patrick.
Hi, I'm Patrick.
Okay.
I thought you looked familiar. I think I know what she's going to do now.
All right. We started working together on August 4th.
Yeah.
All right. And I will let you, if you would like to tell them exactly or not, it's okay.
What day? Sorry.
August 4th.
So, yeah, I went and came and saw her after she did a commercial in our group about the virtual gastric band. I didn't really buy into it until I saw her, and I still didn't buy into it for probably, another month after?
Oh, yeah, a couple, yeah.
But I actually, committed to it a month later.
Oh, yeah. It took
took a
him
month
about
before
5 weeks or so before it kind of really kicked in.
Yeah.
This was
But-
Patrick before.
Yeah, I started at almost 450 pounds, And then I had already, when I saw her the first time, it was just like a kind of understand it. And in that month that I took the time to think about it, I lost almost 20 pounds, I guess. So, yeah, because I started with her at 424. So I lost 20 pounds just doing it on my own, just kind of with what she had told me just in the generic get-together and meet her session. And so that's what I did without any help. And I was like, well, if I can do that, I don't think I can do much more. I mean, that was pretty much what I had.
Let me ask
so,
you a question. When you made this choice, did you feel like, yeah, this is it, I'm doing it, it's gonna be
No,
done?
I didn't, like I said, it took me a month. I mean, I didn't think I could do it at all. I looked at it and I was just like, no, there's no way. I mean, I have to lose 200 pounds. I can't lose 200 pounds.
You were overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Here's a problem that all of us do with any big task, but weight is, we just get overwhelmed with the end goal. You gotta do it one step at a time. One step at a time. And all these people who, I'm gonna go on this diet and I'm gonna work out all of this. No, take a breath.
I didn't work out for the first
Until
60 pounds, I think, almost. 50, 60 pounds that I lost.
So, he's now at a weight that he does not remember
Yeah.
ever being.
Wow.
Probably 10 years since I've been under 300 pounds, I would say.
Yeah.
It's been amazing to watch. I
Yeah.
mean, even your personality has changed. I mean, you're just this really sweet guy, but the first time I met you a year and a half ago, very sweet but very quiet and shy. He is not quiet and shy. I mean, your personality has really come out in the last few months, and it's been wonderful to watch. Wonderful.
Notice he said the first 60 pounds, he did not go to the gym.
Yeah.
What did we talk about earlier was 80% of the battle.
If
Here and here.
That's right.
Internal and mind.
And once I got
So-
it up here, then it was kind of like, I mean, my mom, a lot of things she told me were things that my mom said, and I was just like, even like in the hypnosis session, I'm just like, that's weird, because I just see my mom saying it. I'm like, I blew her off for so many years, I'm just, you don't know what you're talking about. But she says, and like, so my mom is kind of like a health nut too, and she's very conscious about what she eats, and my stepdad is too. So I knew what to eat. I just never wanted it. And now I don't want to eat. I mean, we went to the fair and they were all like stuffing their face with fried foods. And I had a fried Oreo and I just felt
Fist
terrible
bump.
the rest of the time. I was like, felt like I ate concrete.
But here's what you need to know. Did I ever tell you what to eat?
No, never. People would ask me, they're like, so what does does Robin know that you're going to eat that? I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I get kind of.
And he
make
drinks
that
whiskey too, people. He drinks whiskey too. But
Really
it's
good.
not about what, I mean, it is about what you eat, don't get me wrong, what you eat is important, I'm not saying that. But that is not the problem. The problem is your head. The problem is maybe you think you need to put those extra pounds on as love, as protection to keep people away from you, to please someone else. That's what you gotta figure out. When you get that figured out, when you get in alignment, it's like, whew. So like once you hit it, once you got it, and it's, I can't tell when you'll get it, but once you get it, is it like?
Yeah, I just took off. I mean, I kind of dragged it out for a while, and then it just kind of.
It was only 6
I mean, like you
weeks,
said,
and
it
then you got it
just
going.
kind of like this, the light just kind
So
of.
what is your total weight loss today?
Right now.
146 pounds
That is
in like 8 months, I guess.
And how often do you go?
I haven't
Well, we
seen her
haven't, no.
forever, really.
So,
But
okay, great, well,
like-
thank you, I'll answer some more. Thank you, Patrick. Yay, Patrick, he's just been terrific, and thank you so much for coming to share, I really appreciate that. The virtual gastric band is what we did, and it's 8 sessions. I meet with you weekly for 3 to 4 weeks. If you're on track and everything's a go, then it spreads out to 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then a month. So, I mean, we just finished our 8th session maybe a couple months ago.
But there was like months in between.
Months
2
in
months in
between.
between, 2.5 months in
Because
between.
now I'm just a tune-up, and he's got recordings. When you work with hypnosis with me, I give you recordings. So in between, you've got daily recordings to listen to that remind you, oh, my stomach is a small, I chew my food 20, how many people's parents told them to chew their food 20 times?
Ugh, my mom.
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna tell you if you come talk to me, to chew your food 20 times. Where does the digestive system start? That's what these are for. They help your stomach. Okay, so, I've told you a little bit about the virtual gastric band program. How we change beliefs is by working with the beliefs that you have. questioning them. Do they work for you? Yes, keep them. If they don't work for you, modify them or chuck them out. And bring in new ones. Because if we're not growing and green, we're ripe and rotten. Right? We won't be ripe and rotten. We'll be growing and green. Okay. I think,
Can I say something?
yeah.
I've known Robin for about a year, and it took me almost a year to go see her. I was so nervous about the whole hypnosis, having somebody ask me personal questions and all that. A year. Took me a year.
Yeah.
I wanted to go the first time I met her. Took me a year. And so I go in and I'm talking about I want to lose weight, and she starts talking to me, and she's just talking, and she's like, April, it's not a weight loss issue. You're tired. You are tired. So we're going to work on getting you to sleep better. And that was a month and a half ago. I'm down 10 pounds. And I mean, at 10 o'clock every night, I'm like, oh, this is the time I'm supposed to go to sleep. You know, and it's been wonderful. I'm going to keep seeing her. But I just like the fact that she signaled into that so quickly. And it was not a scary thing. It was a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
And
Awesome.
I remember when she told me to close my eyes, I'm like, here we go. You know, and I'm thinking that, this is not going to work. And then she tells me to open my eyes, and she said, well, how was it? And I'm like, it was good. And I'm still kind of thinking this is not going to work. She goes, well, how long do you think that took? I'm like, 5 minutes. She's like, you were out for over 20.
Oh, wow.
So it's very relaxing, and it's nothing to be scared about. That's what I'm saying. It's nothing to be scared about.
Thank you. That is one of the hallmarks of hypnosis is time distortion. I'll give you a quick example. You've all been to the movies. Give me the grace of a good movie. We're at the movies. We know where we are, right? We, all the people slurping soda and munching popcorn, and yes, that guy with the text, and I kick him, I understand. But at a certain point, you don't even see them anymore. You don't even really care that they're there. You're focused on the movie. Okay, it's Bradley Cooper. We're focused on the movie, and we're so, now we hear everything that's being said in the movie, right? And we could get up and go to the bathroom if we needed to, right? But we are so focused on this movie that we're laughing, or God, what's going to happen now? Or whatever they're trying to emote. People, that's hypnosis. You are in hypnosis. You believe that still pictures being flashed on a wall is something actually happening. And not only that, you are now emotionally involved in it. That's hypnosis. And the tell. The tell is, okay, you went in the movie 7 o'clock on a summer evening. It's 9:30, summer evening. You walk out to the door and you push that door open, and what's the first thing you notice?
It's dark out.
And don't you go, just have that little bit of startle. Now your conscious mind goes, well, duh, I was in there for 2.5 hours. But it was like, wow, gosh. And there's a time distortion because you didn't experience 2.5 hours. You were in your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind doesn't wear the watch. The final thing I will say about hypnosis is that you have been hypnotized all your life. We spend more time in hypnosis than out of hypnosis. The greatest hypnotist in the world is the one with the white coat, who says, oh, gosh, you know, once you hit your 40s, it's really hard to lose weight. Yeah, oh, you get old and your joints ache, and yeah, it's really hard. The master hypnotist is that doctor. It doesn't have to be that way, people. It doesn't have to be that way. It's what you, culturally, we all have bought. It doesn't have to be that way. So, having said that, that's kind of the wrap up. I'm happy to answer questions. I know you were going to come up and answer any other questions people had about the whole biochemical issues and all of that.
Well, they pretty much asked questions while I was going, so that worked out pretty good.
Oh, I guess we should talk about our offer.
Yes.
Yes. So, we are each offering discounts on our services. My full program, the virtual gastric band, is usually $978, and so I'm offering it to people who come to the seminar for $880. And there's an additional $30 if you do cash or check. So that's $128 savings right there. Yay, we like savings.
Do you pay as you go, or you pay all?
Oh, great question. And what did I just say this afternoon? Nope, it's about commitment. You're all in or you're not.
Yes.
You're all in or you're not.
That was
Because-
when can I say, so my parents said they would pay for it, And I was kind of like, I asked her, I was like, so my dad said he would pay for it, and she said no. She was like, it's not going to be a commitment if you didn't. So that 30 days that I took beforehand was my 30 days of commitment. I had the money saved up at the end, and honestly, I would say it's the best investment I've made. But like, I think it would have been
you gained back on your
right.
life because of that.
And I think it would have been a little different had it been not my money and not like not.
You know, I have people call me and say, "Oh, I want to buy. You know, my spouse needs to stop smoking." And hey, I'd love to have the revenue, but I just tell them no. Your spouse has to come, and I'll even have the spouse pays for it, but they've called me. No, your spouse needs to call me. You need to be all in, person, not your spouse. Well, you know what I mean. It's very important. It is because it's mental. It's all about the attitude. And how much did it actually hurt to give me that money? It hurt, didn't it? It hurt. It was money. It was a lot of money. I'm sorry, but you gotta be committed. Gotta be committed. It's really important.
Okay, so lastly, to wrap it up, 5 minutes, we'll be done. But I think lastly, to wrap it up, we'll just say that, she told you what type of discounts she was offering. My initial consultation, I usually spend about an hour with each patient. They fill out very detailed paperwork. I ask them to be detailed. My initial consultation usually is $195. For anybody that attends the seminar tonight or even in future seminars, attendees get $50 off that initial consultation, and they also receive $50 off their first lab test, whatever that lab test may be. And all of the lab tests that I talked about all have different pricing structures. It just depends on the lab that I use. I use specialized labs around the country, and so there would be a $50 discount off of that as well. But I think, man, that was an incredible testimony right here, and that speaks a lot for the character of my partner here as well. For her to say, you know what? No, I'm not taking money from your father or your mother. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to wait until you can pay for it yourself, and you can be all in mentally that way. That's incredible. I did not know that, but that is a great thing to speak for your character. That's great. Yes, Matt.
Oh, can I say so? I'm actually in the middle of a session with Robin right now.
Right now.
Not right now, but currently. I've hated to.
Well, actually,
I've hated to admit this for years. I've hid this from almost everyone, but I'm a closet smoker. I've smoked cigarettes since freshman year of college, and coming out of college and transitioning into the real world, basically, I hid a lot. And working with Robin, when I was under, I felt like it was 10 minutes when it was like 45. It was amazing, and I've learned so much about myself, and I haven't smoked or even thought about a cigarette since the day we started, and it hasn't even crossed my mind. I look at him as disgusting now. And
I could vouch for him because every time he took a phone call, he would go and smoke.
Yeah,
like,
it
on a
was
phone
linked to
call.
stress and
And here's the
everything.
thing,
And her.
I never told him once that to not pick one up.
But he'll catch people out smoking. He'll be like, "Oh, cool, you're smoking." I'm like, "What? Really?" He's already called people out on their smoking.
I did say totally tolerant, non-smoking.
I will tell you this, whether this is for you or not, go on Facebook, like us, mention it, say
Tell
something
people,
about what you
please.
learned tonight. Tell your friends, tell your relatives, tell your family. If you feel like they could also benefit, we're going to hold another one of these in maybe a couple of months or so. And hopefully, as we start posting video clips and little snippets of things, and if you guys will chime in and help get the word out, there's more to the story. And there's more ways out there to address some of the things that you guys are dealing with.
And all the work I
We wanna
can
get
do
the
with
word
you
out.
is important, but we're gonna reach a stopping point unless the foundation is there.
That's right.
So it's critical, it's absolutely critical.
Yeah. I'll be here to help you on the medical side, the biochemical side, the nutrition side, but it is key that if you don't have your mind made up, I cannot make you compliant. I can tell you everything you need to do. I can present the test results to you, but you have to have a made-up mind, and if you need help with that, this is the person that can help you. Any further questions? Very good. Thank you all for
Thank
coming.
you for coming. Thank you for
Lasted-
first timers.
Yeah, it lasted a little longer than we anticipated because of me. got
I think he's a little passionate about what he does.
Yeah.
What do you think?
But thank you for hanging in there. Appreciate it very much. Thank you guys.
Oh, and we got brochures, right?
Oh, thank you.
I-
That one, I get
Pass
that.
them out.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
sure.
you, that's yours?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure
well,
did.
here.
Somebody did.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
I got you.
If you have any questions that you want to ask me one-on-one, just find me and ask me. Same thing